All right, welcome into this weekly class. I wanted to just show my face and say hello. Okay, so this class is set up to have fun, learn knowledge, and you can ask any question that you want. Today, I'm going to focus in on if you're feeling like your skin is really sticky from eating a lot of sugar and what that means. And so I'm going to tell you a story about where I've been and how I've struggled and how I've been able to heal the process along the way, and we're going to talk about steps about that. Also, I'm going to give you 3 steps to be able to really move forward today. And that's what we do in this weekly call. So welcome in and let's get started. And so just go into the box if you have any questions. There's a chat area there and I'll be there for you. I have spots where I stop and so we can start our discussion together. All right, so stop sugar, start energy. And I know that the reason why you're here is you've already felt that you are eating too much sugar. You're noticing so many things that can happen linked with having too much sugar. Skin is not feeling good. You're aging quickly. Your skin may be sagging a bit. And to really get you honed in on why our skin sags is because our hormones are not in balance. So today we're going to talk about hormones. We're going to talk about how you reset your hormones. And at the end, I'm going to tell you about a service that I have that it will be for you if you're fully connected with wanting to make that change forward. Even if you're not, stay here today, get to know what your steps are so that you can really cleanse your body of feeling like you are just stuck in this high sugar, how do I get out of it kind of situation. So stop sugar, so start energy so that you lose 10 pounds of belly fat. And I'm serious about this. As soon as you start balancing your hormones, your belly's going to come down. You're going to start feeling fantastic. So many things that can happen. So if you learn the techniques I'm about to show you, you'll avoid any more extreme sugar cravings and lose weight. So let's take a breath and focus in on that. You'll lose bloat. You'll learn how to lose 10 pounds of belly fat within a month. So learning how to eat clean, learning how to balance your sugar levels, and taking the steps I'm going to teach you today. Because this is a no-fail plan. We're here as a team to work together, and we're going to keep the momentum going. Okay, so stat. People are consuming 80 pounds of added sugar per year. Do you see how the 60 has been X'd out? About 10 years ago, it used to be 60 pounds of added sugar. But when you think about it, when you are having Starbucks or a cookie, or there's so much packaged foods out there, and to add the taste, there's salt and sugar. So the consumption of sugar has increased exponentially year over year. It just keeps getting more and more. And I know we're going to top out at some point, but the connection with that is that we don't feel good. So the average person has about 76 grams of sugar per day. Now, what that means is usually when I start working with clients that are working within a group, we talk about, what's the sugar levels that you should be having per day? Usually about 15 grams of sugar per day. So think about where you are now, where you should be in alignment, and how that will bring you into weight loss, being able to feel and look more youthful. So that's an extra 400 calories a day. So if you look at your day per calories, which I want to shift that by the end of today, because it's not just about the calories, the quality of the food that you're eating and not the calories is what's going to give you the results. And that's how it really affects our hormones. So if you eliminated even half those calories, think about chemically what would happen in your body where you wouldn't have as much inflammation. So you would probably have big weight loss just based on inflammation, extra water tension. You'd be able to move more, be able to work out more because you'd have less tension, maybe arthritis, feeling so bad day to day. So take a step back. So Power of Full Engagement. I just read this book and I love it. I've been working with a mentor. His name's Eben Pagan, and he told me you need to read this book. It's great. So anyway, this quote is from that. Managing energy, not time, is the key to high performance and personal renewal. So when you work with me through these weekly calls, we really talk a lot about energy, your ebbs and flows, and the peaks of your day. And that's where you should be chunking down your biggest projects and starting to see your day in a different way so that you can move forward from the person you are today, and each week adding in new implementation of things that are going to help you become this person that you see and envision the future you. So I want you to take a deep breath. Inhale, arms out to the side, step one. Now exhale, deep exhale. Close your eyes, give yourself that space. Open up your arms, deep inhale. And a meditative exhale. Push and extend out that exhale. And just feel the pressure release through your spine with the release of that tension. And that equates straight into your back, your nervous system. Hey, my name is Rhonda Liebig. I'm an author. And I do blogging. So blogging is mainly, I've been focusing more on sugar. My blogs were about a variety of general wellness tips. Today, I have been blogging on sugar. And I'll tell you a little bit about my story as we go along. But my dad passed away, let's see, about 9 years, 10 years. Yep, 10 years ago. Just a couple months ago was 10 years. And he was diabetic, and he had some complications based with diabetes. And it really got me focused in on centered sugar and elimination of sugar in the diet and what sugar really does. So we're going to focus in on that today. So you're in the right place. I've done stuff on the news where I help their people that are watching day-to-day viewers to how to do quick tips here and there and why they want to make those tips. And so why they want to add the tips into what they've already been doing. So I've had fun on Fox 40, and then also I've done quite a few of speaking engagements. So what is a food expert? So you're going to see that I talk a lot about food. And so I've really focused in on food as being your energy, food as being your center, and how it can also hurt you and how it can bring in the health. So I want you today to connect with food as your wellness plan, because the food is what's going to get you what you want: higher productivity, looking more youthful, being able to think quicker, being able to feel smarter, because the brain clarity just clears up so quickly. So when you are dealing with food, you're talking about your body. You're talking about the body and how we get blocked. So I talk a lot about emotional blockage, because if you're blocked emotionally, you're going to choose the wrong foods and you're going to gain weight easily. Your hormones are going to be thrown off, and you're going to be clogged up energetically. You're going to feel tired, lethargic. You're going to have pains in your hips or your feet. Quite a few people I know have pains in their hands, back. And you're going to learn how to use the workouts along with all this process connected with food. So if you hang out with me, this is the stuff that I really focus in on. So this is kind of a refreshed way of looking at your health. So it is a new health opportunity. And it does take a new mind shift, because once you start shifting and thinking about your wellness plan and not so focused on diets and calories and what that entails just based on your weight, you start realizing there's a big mind shift happening when you're with me. Most people pass it up because they still want to go in the old plan. So I want to talk to you for a moment about plasticity in our brain. Plasticity is that there's these connections that can happen in our brain so that we learn to do things in new ways and be able to connect that. So whatever routine you're doing right now, you can actually change that. So I want you to connect with why you're here today and how the sugar has brought you into a space of not feeling good about yourself. We have fights in between our brain of one side of our brain saying, I want that sugar, I need it for energy, or I need it for the high. You think about sugar as, I don't want to say this just blatantly, but this is how I feel sometimes when people get really stuck on sugar, is that it's a drug. And it just kind of takes us and we have a hard time leaving it. So we have that side of the brain saying, we need it, we need it. Then you have your other side of the brain, and that side is saying, oh, you don't want to do that. If you do that, it's going to mess up your day. You're not going to have as much energy. You're not going to get as much done. You're going to be so unproductive. And you have this fight happening in your brain. So most people will pass it up because they don't really see that conceptually, that you have to really clear areas to exponentially move forward. And with your brain fighting left and right, fighting in the way that you're thinking, once you clear that out and you get your food in alignment and your mental alignment, all of a sudden things are not as stressful and you're freed of that stress. So the real question is, are you here for the right reason? And so I want to say, where do we start? And it's getting to know yourself. And the first area we're going to talk about is your body absorbing everything? So I want to hold it right here for a moment. I want to give you a little bit more about me. So I've been in this industry for over 15 years. I love it. I started out as a CPA, and I really loved doing that. I've been raising Jacob and Kirsten and with my husband, Jeff. And it was really intense not being around for the kids. I was always at the office, spending tons of time working, and I was just never around. So I felt like I was floating in the air. I didn't have a floor, I didn't have a ceiling, and I was working in corporate. Before that, I was working in auditing, and I was traveling all over. And I started eating really, really bad. And I started feeling so bad about myself, because the first thing is, I knew that I did not want to eat like that. And I knew that if I did, I would not fit in anything that I had. And I started aging real quick. Started having aches and pains. I started having a specific pain in my head at the top left. If I leaned forward, I'd have like this big zing. So things got bad before they got better, the way you see me today. And I started feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm scared because my health is, I just feel like I'm not doing good at all. And my skin started feeling like real clammy. I didn't even know what that was about. And so I felt like I wanted to wash my face like 2-3 times a day. And that was a new transition. And I've always taken care of my skin, always thought that, I had the best regimen for taking care of my skin. But this was something new. I was so addicted to sugar, and every time I ate, there was sugar in there somehow, with salad dressing, with, having hot chocolate, even if having tons of vegetables, which I did a big salad, and sometimes I wouldn't even have the salad dressing, but I have a soda then. Every meal had sugar. It transitioned and flipped my yeast in my system, which sugar is known for doing that because it really breaks down your digestion, which I'm going to talk about in a moment. My digestion just got really messed up. And all of a sudden I was infested with candida, and it took a while to clear. And I had to eat certain foods. So if you have this happening for you today, I want you to ask that question. Raise your hand, ask the question, because it's important to know why you're here. And what the questions that you have. So I'll keep going back to see if anybody has any questions on anything as we're going through, but we are going to move on forward. But that's my story. And I found that once I started these tools I'm going to share with you, things changed. And I went into this industry, health industry, wishing that I had a coach that could help me through what I was dealing with. And I thought leaving my career at that time was what I needed to do to get mental clarity. And you know what? It was the perfect thing for me, because I know where I'm at today is where I always should have been. So big mental clarity did happen for me. So welcome in. Okay, so know your why. What is your daily biggest struggle? Is it bloat, fatigue? Is it pain? Fatigue would be getting up in the morning, not having the enzymes from your liver to jumpstart you, get yourself going. And later on today, I may speak about the liver, but probably next week I'll speak more about that. But the fatigue is that you just don't feel good at all through the day. So you're doing caffeine after caffeine after caffeine, or sugar after sugar to keep yourself going, but it's really bringing you more into deeper fatigue. Pain would be that the stuff that you're eating is not being absorbed in your body, and the stuff that you're eating is wreaking havoc on your body. Bloat could be in your belly because your sugar levels are up. Bloat could be from your sugar levels being where you're in pre-diabetic or diabetes. So there's big changes that can happen just based on your struggle today. So think about that. What's your biggest struggle? Is it all of these? Know your why. What would you do to get results and have a breakthrough, to energetically open up your body? That question is so important. What would you do to have a breakthrough? If I told you these 3 steps today, are you ready to open up yourself and say, I'm in. I'm tired of this. Rhonda, you've motivated me. I'm going to do it. What does it take? Take a big inhale. All right. If it's lunchtime for you, I want to make sure that you have some food. I want you to put everything off to the side, your phone, the email system, everything, so you can focus in. Because I don't want you to have what I would call like the butterfly effect, where you start seeing things over here and over there, and you're not specifically listening to the steps. Because I'll tell you what, you're going to get results if you're ready to step in. So you're ready? Let's go. Stop sugar, start energy, so you lose 10 pounds of belly fat, and I'm going to add in a month. Ready to lose 10 pounds. So I'm going to give you 3 areas we're going to talk about. Strategies we're going to talk about to healing your gut and balancing your hormones. As a woman, we need our hormones balanced. We're not going to get results. Our skin's not going to look so good. We're going to have bloat, and we don't want that. Of course we don't. We're going to understand digestion 101. We're going to talk about absorption. We're going to talk about serotonin and why we need that healthy, happy hormone, and why we need to rid our body of sugar. In the 3rd area, we're going to talk about all the actions. We're going to talk about what you need right now for a healthy gut and happy life. Let's take a moment though. Everything that's happening in your body, you want to be aware. You are beautiful and perfect in every way. Anything that you're feeling today, right now, we're going to work on adjusting. And that your body is trying to fix whatever's going on. So if you are having aches and pains and bloats and not feeling very good, so you're just down in the dumps, your body's trying to slow down and heal itself. So that's why this quote is so meaningful today. We're not trying to fix something that is so horrifically bad that our body is bad. We're trying to nurture it, to see the positive things. And where we are today is based upon every step that we've done in our past. So today is a day to step into your future and do something new for yourself. Okay, so understand strategies to healing your gut and balancing your hormones. Now, what happens is when we start our first process of digestion, we forget all about chewing. Now, this is important, and digestion is not this big, fancy, sexy thing to talk about, but this is the most important part in your step 1. That's why we're here. If you don't take time to breathe and chew your food, something's going to happen. You're not going to digest your food as much. Your hormones are not going to do what they need to do. You need over 60 hormones to digest your food, and it's a big process. So I have a client that was talking about this, and they said, well, I have to drink water every time I eat because that helps me bring my food down to, to digest. And so we talked about it. That's like, well, are you really chewing your food though? Because the issue is, if you're not chewing your food, you need that water to be able to, slug that food down. So you really need to chew your food till it becomes liquid. So this is a great way to lose weight because it takes a while to chew your food. If you eat it really fast, then you can eat so much food and then all of a sudden it hits you how full you are. But think about it. If you slow down and you realize that you have to slow down, chew your food. Once you chew your food to liquid, then you swallow it, you feel how full your body is and you end up eating less. It's a great way and a great approach. But this also balances your hormones. It gives your body the chance to naturally do what it needs to do. Bad gut health has to do with overeating. So you're going through a chewing process, and if say that you decide that in the past that you have not been chewing, then it's easy to overeat. Overeating, your body can only absorb so much, so that weight in your belly can wreak havoc. You can have diverticulitis, you can have different things that happen where the mucosis lining within your digestion is messed up, and you need every part of your lining, every piece that's intact in your digestion so that you can absorb your foods. If you don't chew your foods and you overeat, then you're going to adjust your digestion to where it's not going to absorb the way it needs to. So if these two things are happening, for sure, you're not getting the nutrients that you need. So bad gut health slows your metabolism, low energy, and joint pains. Metabolism slows down. Like I said earlier, your body's trying to slow down so it can take care of itself. So it's trying to hone in on the areas how it's going to be able to heal itself. So your metabolism is going to be slow. It's going to be easier gaining weight. Low energy. Metabolism slow, low energy. Low energy translates to not feeling so good about yourself, maybe a bit of depression. I've had ebbs and flows of depression based on my past history of eating. So there's a way out of it as you start balancing this. Joint pains is based on inflammation because your body's not absorbing the nutrients. And another thing that happens, if you've heard of leaky gut means that I was talking about the lining within the digestion. Well, if that gets broken down, food directly goes into your bloodstream that should not be there. And that's called leaky gut. Joint pains happen because of a variety of reasons. But for right now, talking about bad gut health, because there's stuff happening that's going in your blood system that shouldn't be there. Joint pains can be arthritis, so just inflammation and moving towards arthritis. So think about what runs in your family and then what is happening for you. And it could be that you have eaten the same foods that your family has eaten, and that's why you're having the issue. Or it could mean that there's just that you're born with a weakness in part of your body and you need to nurture it more. So if something runs in your family, be very aware of what the tools you need to pull from today so that you can walk away from the stress that happens with pains that are running in your family. So you're not able to absorb your nutrients and your body becomes depleted. Even if you're taking supplements, your body's going to become depleted and it doesn't mean anything. So what is too much sugar? What's too much? If you're having anything based on your skin not looking the way that you know it should, having brown marks on your skin, because your skin's going to talk about what's happening for your sugar levels, what's happening for your blood. Is your blood healthy? Your skin's going to look healthy if your blood is healthy. Your skin's going to look healthy if you do not have constipation. Your skin's going to look healthy if you are absorbing your nutrients. Too much sugar means that you're having over 15 grams of sugar a day, that you are having Starbucks every day, that you're having maybe sugar in every meal like what I did. And that too much means that you're craving sugar, so that your system is off. And the thing that your system does not need is what it craves. So it's the craziest thing ever because you don't even know that craving sugar is not a mental struggle that you're saying I'm weak because I need the sugar. Your whole body is messed up from just having too much sugar. So sugar cravings is telling you your body's up and to halt and make those changes. What is too much? You're struggling with weight loss. Well, why are you struggling with weight loss? Who cares if you're over 40 years old? Does that really mean you're 40 years old and it's okay for your hormones to be off? So struggling with weight loss is okay. It's just natural. No, it's not. It means things are out of misalignment. 40s is that you have to be very aware of where you are with your hormones so that you can keep it balanced because you're starting that transition that happens. And when your sugar levels are up, guess what? Your cortisol hormone, your adrenaline hormone, we're going to talk about more about hormones in just a moment, but you can't lose your belly fat. Why not? Because your hormones are off. Too much sugar. Low energy. That means you're having too much because sugar is going to give you the high and then it's going to drop you. Give you the high, it's going to drop you. If you are sugar resistant, then you won't get that high anymore and you'll be dreading that because you can't get anything that you, my McAfee just came up to, anyway, so you have to focus in on these areas. What's happening for you? That means you're having too much. Let's talk about cancer. If you're taking care of your body and using these tools, that's going to pull away from your mind at that fear. When you know you're not in alignment and that you're taking care of yourself the way that you know that you need to, you won't be worrying so much about cancer. The biggest thing that I hear about from a new person coming in is that they're worried about cancer. Once they start their alignment and start making those changes, it all changes from there. So don't wake up every day thinking that you're going to be hurting yourself and that you're scared about cancer, because right now, here now, you're making a new commitment for yourself, that you're stepping in and ready to make those changes. So let's talk about intestines being out of balance. If you had all that stuff happening, or even one of those things, you have a sure deal that your digestion is off. So you know your hormones are off. Now, with extra sugar, and usually you're really honed in on bready stuff. So that's going to affect your thyroid, because gluten affects the thyroid hormone. So think about the foods that you're eating, and if you're addicted to anything bready, having bread, having toast, all that kind of stuff, you're hurting your thyroid. Now, if you have no thyroid stuff going on, it doesn't mean that it's not going to happen later. So step into your wellness plan and think about what your thyroid needs. That thyroid needs to be nurtured, and gluten is going to affect that thyroid hormone. Bread focuses in the body as sugar. And the more that you have it, the harder it's going to be for your thyroid to really work the way that it needs to. And it's going to affect you in a way that's going to slow your body down, easier weight gain, because we need the thyroid hormone to rejuvenate our intestines and rejuvenate our metabolism. Every cell in our body needs this thyroid hormone. Estrogen is going to be affected because having too much sugar, estrogen gets messed up. So if you're pre-diabetic or diabetic, you're going to know that your skin's going to be softer. You're going to have a little bit more puffiness to yourself because the estrogen gets messed up seriously with too much sugar. Cortisol is our fight or flight hormone. So having the ups and downs, ebbs and flows of sugar, and increasing and decreasing the sugar and not being consistent, the cortisol hormone is going to bring weight right into your belly. And you're going to be in that fight or flight syndrome, so you're going to be exhausted. Adrenaline hormone is right up on top of the kidneys. Now, if you ever have any pain on the back, lower back, sometimes it's your skeletal, but you want to think about this. Why is that pain on your lower back? If you have issues with that, sometimes your adrenaline is overworking. If your adrenaline hormone is overworking, that's giving that fight or flight, keeping you going, that's also hard on your kidneys. So think about that. It can get very complicated, so I don't want to go any deeper than that, but let's just kind of keep it at that. Your hormones are going to be off balance. So that's our section 1. So think about that, focusing in on your digestion. So your first step was eating your food in a way that's going to help you lose weight. So take charge of your first step of digestion. Chew your food till it's liquid. Okay, so here we go in Digestion 101. Stay away from gluten. Having sugar issues right now, stay away from gluten. So you'll see in the background there, all of that has gluten. You're going to see in the salad back there, that has probably gluten in the salad dressing. Gluten in everything that's kind of glued together. So you have pizza, even in chocolates. You could even have gluten within that. So it's all over the place, even in your burger bun. So that can also be not happening is all the time you're eating your vegetables. If you have leaky gut, you're not absorbing your vegetables. Maybe some, but not as much as you could from all the money that costs to truly be buying vegetables. And you want to hone in on this. We talk about how we can't eat healthy because of how expensive the vegetables are. But think about, as you start healing your gut, and we've been talking about your first step of digestion, the vegetables that you're already putting in your system right now, if you start your steps right now, you're going to have more energy and get a bigger kick from the vegetables that you're currently already eating. So I want you to be focused in on this section too, because we're going in deeper. The techniques and the information that I'm giving you, that you want to learn these techniques, because you don't want to go in and do some of the stuff I've told you and some of the stuff that I told you to do that you didn't do. So remember that question I asked you about, are you ready to make a step forward? What would you do to make that change? So if you learn these techniques, you will avoid failure. The general rule that applies is if you're doing bad digestion steps, like thyroid disease, autoimmune disease, rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, psoriasis, all that is related with digestion. There's other things that could be coming along the way that you're doing that can affect it. But if you focus in on that one section right now, I just want you to breathe and think about your diet. Give yourself a moment here. How much gluten are you having per day? How much sugar are you having per day? Are you having too much sugar? I want you to get a pen and piece of paper if you don't already have one. And if you've been taking notes, excellent. But I'm going to have some steps moving forward. So even this breathing right here, this is one of the steps I want you to do. Not just with me here, but let's get those hormones balanced. Let's get out of the fight or flight syndrome and focus on that breath. So there needs to be alignment in the hormones. We call it the endocrine system. There needs to be balance in the nervous system. That nervous system is wrapped in with your vertebrae. So if your back is really stressed, it's going to affect the nervous system. That's where you get your fight or flight, your hormones off balance too. Your cardiovascular system needs to be in alignment. So you need to have movement, get that body moving every day. Your alignment needs to be in your excretion system. If you're not doing bowel movements at least once a day, then things are being stuck and things are not moving the way they should. And the longer things stay within your system, the more that you're going to have some issues with absorbing and reabsorbing foods. And a lot of our foods have toxins in them. So the longer it stays within your body, then your body becomes toxic. I can remember when I was at the peak of feeling like I was sick, just even though I wasn't sick because my blood test didn't tell the doctor I was sick. But I felt like I just couldn't stand my body. I felt like my skin was just so moist and yucky. I felt when I looked at myself that my skin was more open and loose, and that I felt like I was just exhausted all the time. So once I started aligning the hormones, the nervous system, cardiovascular system, excretion system, things changed immensely. And I started seeing myself differently. There's things that I do today that I would not have been able to do 5 years ago before I came back into this whole alignment. So there needs to be some alignment here. It's a complicated system, but today is the beginning. So there's lots that we can be Googling right now and getting answers for, but we're not looking for answers because Google's only going to give you a one-layer answer. You see how we've been building the layers and giving you the knowledge so that today can be a strong base for you. So if today's the first day of being part of and participating into this weekly call, let this be your base. If you've been here for a while and you've been doing the Tuesday calls, then I want you to help build yourself each day by listening and implementing weekly. You're going to notice big, big changes. So today is your first step in to something that is serious. Your immune system is about 70% wrapped into your gut. So I talked about serotonin earlier. Now we're talking about immune system. So today we're in wintertime. You want your immune system to be built as best as it can. So you want to start thinking about your food as your medicine. Earlier we talked about digestion. Remember, the first step we talked about is chewing your food and using that first digestion step so that you start absorbing your food better. And that's the beginning of healing the gut. And so you can have a better immune system. And if you do that, you're not going to be sick. When people are having the flu, you may get a little cold. When people are really, really sick around you, you may get a little sick, a little feverish, but it won't take you down the way that it may right now as you're building your system. There needs to be an alignment for your brain so that your brain can think with clarity, higher productivity. You feel smarter when you start healing the gut. And there's a connection now that they're talking about because there's so much money going into this area of the brain. So whatever you knew 10 years ago, just push that off to the side and keep up with what's going on. And today I want to just explain a bit about the brain. When your serotonin is not being produced through the gut, it makes you feel even depressed because your brain needs that serotonin to feel happy. Also, your brain's going to be affected because you're going to be thinking slower. So it's not just about your brain. Think about every cell in your body moving slow. And that you think about, that's how you gain weight. That's how you feel lethargic. So your brain gets affected. Your brain needs to be in alignment. Your mouth needs to be in alignment. Make sure you're going to the dentist. And this is me as a health coach saying that the mouth is your first step to digestion. Make sure that your teeth are in alignment. And your stomach and your emotions. And we talked about how your nervous system has to be in alignment. If your emotions are up and down and you let people upset you easily, your emotions are going to be affecting how you absorb your food. If you carry the pain in your stomach because you're stressed, maybe you have a really stressful life right now. And if you carry those emotions and keep them in there, well, translate that to what it's doing to your digestion, what it's doing to your bowel movements. Because if you're holding on to stuff, it's going to slow your system down. Also, you want to have your absorption of your liquids, your carbohydrates, your protein, and your fat, all 4 areas. And so I want you to think about some action steps that you want to do right now. And I want you to learn how to implement for a healthy gut, the new steps that we already talked about. So you lose belly fat. We're talking about 10 pounds of belly fat in 1 month. We're just leaving the holidays. It's a perfect time to get yourself in alignment. Stop the cravings and lose weight. Align your hormones. So what part of the day do you have your lowest, not able to focus energy? So all the stuff we've learned at this point, just got to take a breather here and think about this. You're going to have 3 action steps right here. But let's build this. What is the lowest part of your day? Write it down. Think about it. Now let's focus on your energy. Where are those highs in your day? Where do you get the maximum stuff done? And I always think about this because when your liver is not in alignment, your energy can have its lows. I think next week I need to really focus in on liver, and we'll talk about that for next week. So what meal do you know that you sabotage daily? Breakfast, snack, lunch, and dinner. Which one is it? Now let's align that. Let's not go any further right now. I've asked you 3 questions. First thing is, when's your lowest energy? When's your highest energy? And see that as individual questions right now. The other question I want you to answer is, what meal do you know that you sabotage daily? Now bring that together. I'm going to help you here as a food expert. When's your highest sugar that you're eating a day? Do you see how that's affecting the ebbs and flows in your energy through the day? is your highest energy in the day when you're eating your sugar because that's how you're getting your energy for the day? Or are things happening naturally for you right now where you are eating a combination of the right foods enough that's going to peak that energy for you? Now let's bring this in to your lowest part of energy for the day and align that with the biggest meal that you sabotage. And I want you to focus in on that. Now, what I want you to think about is adding one vegetable in that worst time that you're eating. I don't even care what vegetable it is right now, but I don't want you to pull it out of a can. I want you to eat something fresh, something low in sugar, because we're starting to rid our body of sugar. That one vegetable is going to increase your energy. It's going to help your digestion, but you're going to have to eat it till it becomes liquid in your system. So you're going to lose weight because you're going to feel how full you are before you even get full. Let me translate that. So when you're eating really fast, you're going to not even realize you're full until all of a sudden it hits you and you're in pain. As you chew and add that extra vegetable, new vegetable into that meal that you sabotage every day, then you're going to find that you're not going to eat as much. So that's a good diet plan right there. And when I say diet, it's more of like a wellness diet plan. So we're not talking about calories, we're connecting the quality of your food. Now, if you add that one vegetable, I want you to kind of envision that. Your lowest part of your day, connect it with right before that. That's probably your worst time of the day where you're eating junk food. And you know that you need to add something that's going to give you that big boost. But right now, you don't see that that's an easy change, probably, because that's probably after you've had some sugar and then that's your lowest low and you're not feeling good about yourself. So emotionally, you have that emotional battle that we talked about. But remember, I also brought up plasticity earlier, where your brain has that option to be able to reconnect in new ways. And we're the only mammal that they know at this point that can truly change your daily schedule and keep it changed. Because when you think about it, the stuff that you're doing right now is just year over year of something that has brought you into this routine. But has it been consciously? So today I'm asking you to make a conscious move forward. The meal that you are eating right now that is sabotaging your day fully, add a vegetable. You're going to notice that your energy is going to increase and it's going to flatten more of energy throughout the day instead of your ebbs and flows, highs and lows. So add that power meal with one vegetable at your lowest part of the day. What did I talk about earlier? Let's transition. So you got your steps, and I want you to move forward. You made a commitment to come in today. So, okay. So mirror, mirror, are you ready to unleash tremendous power of healing that lies dormant with you? So if you think about your body as a whole energetic system, the aches and pains stop us from having our high energy, that there's probably inflammation in that area because of the stuff we talked about earlier. So mirror, mirror, are you ready to restore balance on all levels of the body, mind, and spirit? So connecting the hormones. Hormones, if they're not in alignment, it's easy to not feel good about yourself. That's your serotonin. It's easy to gain weight if your adrenaline and your cortisol hormone is off. It's hard to feel happy when your estrogen is off. So once you cut back that sugar, the estrogen hormone will start being in alignment. And so we're just getting everything in alignment. So you've come to the right place. Now remember that all this stuff, I discussed my personal story. And so everything I've shared with you today is not theory. And that I've used this in my personal energy plan. That my current clients are using this as their strategies. And the thing we talked about was adding one vegetable today and increasing the energy. So we're not theorizing. We're going to implement and we're going to charge forward and make these new adjustments. One thing to take from you today is that nothing is anything new that you probably couldn't Google on the internet. But the biggest deal here that I want you to get is that you have new tools today, new understanding. I'm giving you new strategies as a coach, and that these strategies will work for you. So we're going back to the plasticity in our brain, reconnecting and getting rid of the stuff that's not working. And these weekly calls are about reconnecting, getting yourself moving forward. So the obvious question is, how do I get the results now that I've tried in the past to do? So you know, by trying to leave sugar, that you've probably had big failures and the people around you. And so how are we going to decode this whole thing? So you have a choice. Are you going to keep it complicated and confusing and by yourself? Or are you ready to bring it simple and structured? I want to introduce to you, as I told you about earlier in the discussion, that I was going to bring a service forward that if you are feeling this stress and pain, you're ready to make these changes, that I want you to connect with, that your kidneys and liver are off of balance too, that your whole body is not moving as an energetic system because of the extra sugar. So the quarterly detox is a reset for blood sugar. And I want you to lose as much weight as you can. And so that means eat to lose up to 12 pounds. So eat. So stop thinking of food and calories, but start thinking about the nourishment that you want in your body. That the stuff that you want that's going to give you big results. The first thing is declog your body. So why I do the detox is because I want a support group. Because eating clean is lonely. Eating clean is lonely. The more that we know that how many times we've tried to eat clean, that we lose a part of ourselves because we're so used to hiding from our stress. So we're eating this food to help numb ourselves so that we feel that we don't have to deal with our day-to-day stressors or emotions or maybe even things that happened in our childhood. So it's time to start listening. But you have space to have the coaching, be with a coach that knows what's going on, has been in there in that lonely space. Even at one time, I was thinking I may even need to be on medicine because I felt so lonely because my body was slowing down so much from not eating the way I needed to eat. My thyroid was way off balance. I was eating too much sugar. My skin was feeling so moist from truly, I was having candida issues, as we talked about. So the detox is your no-fail strategy. I call it the 4 support. You have your workout reset. You're going to learn where you're stuck. Are you stuck in the kidneys? And your kidneys aren't flowing through the water system and helping your body. So if you have a lot of aches and pains in the backside of your body, if you're having Charlie horses, that's connected with your kidneys. If you're dealing with that you are having stuff with your liver, well, I'll show you different ways that you should be working out based on where you're stuck. So energetically, you can open up your body. You also have a food reset. So the food, you get tons of support when it comes wrapped around with the detox and food. And I'll talk about that. Also, you're going to have a daily ritual reset because right now with what you're doing, some of it's probably working, but it's nice to just see a new way of doing things so you can exponentially move your energy forward because there's always room to have more energy and feel better about yourself. Also, kitchen reset. You may not be at the point where you feel like you're even connected with your kitchen. So you have all 4 resets here. This is all about what we talked about earlier, that you have your hormone reset, which is estrogen hormone reset, thyroid hormone reset, testosterone hormone reset, growth hormone reset, your insulin hormone reset, and your cortisol hormone reset. All those hormones, those 6 hormones are going to be reset. And that's why you lose weight so fast. You're doing alignment into your system. And you start with 3 days of being challenged by changing and looking at things differently. And that's what the detox is about. So getting results, like I lost 12 pounds in 2 weeks. Lost 2 inches off my hips. Clearer vision to seeing way better. I have a client, Beverly, every time she does the detox, because she really focuses in on sugar, she has a hard time with it. But every time she does it, the sugar high from her blood sugar, she has a hard time seeing. And she notices a big difference within that first week. She says actually even within a couple days. Also, she herself deals with released mucus and stopped daily drainage. So if you have drainage in the back or you're constantly clearing your throat, that's a constant drainage going on within your system. Once you clear the sugar out, your system starts acting and reacting differently. Your things start drying up because with the inflammation, there's a lot of foam and a lot of fluids and a lot of saliva that gets stuck in different areas. Also increased energy. So your support, you get a 50+ page power detox book. You get 30+ delicious, wholesome recipes. You get daily emails that will keep your mind in the detox game to full success. Because every day you wake up, you have to be reminded, oh yes, I'm on the detox. Oh yes, I have to prep my food. I have to do this. And you start becoming more in alignment. Also, you have a successful daily ritual that's been used from past successful participants. The daily ritual is going to connect you with starting your day to strength. Also, you have a membership in the Fit Seasonal Facebook group. So the Fit Seasonal Detox Facebook group. Here, you have daily talks going on. And you have daily inspiration. And you also get group support. And the group support is important. Also, if you're having questions about things, you're not getting that, or you have more of a private side and you really don't want to participate as much in the Facebook group, which I want to tell you, the more participation that you do, the more breakthroughs, bigger breakthroughs you're going to have. But you have one-to-one email support. I will make sure to answer your email within 24 hours. I'll personally do that. Then I was talking about the daily Q&A calls in the private Facebook group. So nobody else is going to be able to see your questions that you're asking except the people that are within that Facebook group that have already dealt with what you're dealing with. And the more that you explain what you're dealing with and you're struggling with, the more support and the more the empowerment you're going to have and the stuff that you have been hiding from. You know, we get embarrassed that we are stuck in an area of sugar and that we can't get out of it. We feel that we're weak. Well, today's the day to realize that stop hiding from it. There's nothing wrong with feeling weak about something. And the truth is, everything that you've dealt with, most likely everybody else has dealt with that's been within the group because there's a big group there. Plus, there's so much more support that you get out of that. Remember, we were talking about the brain and how your brain fights left and right, you know, fighting over, I need this sugar, to the other point of saying, I really don't want to do this because I know it's going to affect my day. So the detox helps the alignment to where you exponentially have energy, to where you can lose up to 12 pounds or more. And the list goes on. So if you're ready to have these types of results, I want you to step in and go to rhondaliebig.com/fit, and I spell fit with a double T, just like the book that I wrote, Fit Season Detox. You're going to see it on the bottom here also, and you're going to get the 4s, the workout reset, the food reset, daily ritual reset, kitchen reset, hormone reset. And I talked about the estrogen, testosterone, also progesterone, which is part of the estrogen area. You're going to have thyroid reset. You're going to have a reset in your adrenaline, your cortisol, and the list just keeps going on. So next week on Monday, this detox starts, and I want you to step in and check it out. There on the page, you're going to learn that you have to have certain things of an understanding before you can step into the detox. So first thing is, I want you to take a quiz when you get onto that page. It'll give you a quiz. So you want a pen and a piece of paper. You want to find out, where are you stuck? Are you stuck in your kidneys? Are we detoxing that? Are you stuck in your liver? And are you stuck in that area? Now, depending on where you're stuck, that's the detox that you want to invest in. So you're going to go liver or you're going to go kidneys. Now, once you know where you're stuck, then from there you want to decide. Do you want to do the $99 detox where you get everything I told you? You're not excluded from anything. Then you're going to do the gold. And that would be the $99. Or are you going to do the platinum level? Now, the platinum level is that you're getting supplements that are going to help reset your blood sugar. It's going to increase your metabolism. And they were personally picked out by me to help reset and cleanse the organs and exponentially move your detox forward. Now, those supplements are worth already $114. So with that detox, it's $199. So you have two different levels that you can do. You can do the gold with no supplements and get all the support, or you can do the platinum and do all plus the supplements. So you're not excluded from anything. So the detox is powerful. If you're ready to start your 2016 year with knowing that you can make changes in your life and rid yourself of thinking that you should never make new goals because you fail, well, today's the first day that I want you to step in and tell yourself that there is a no-fail rate, that you're going to do it. If you're ready for these changes, I want you to come on over, click into the Fit Season Detox, rhondaliebig.com. I'm typing it in right now, and this is going to drop you in to the page so you can go directly there and check it out. Take the quiz, see where you're stuck, and it's going to give you all that information as you go on. When I put that signature quiz together, I was really excited because it gave me that chance to be able to start seeing people in a new way. Because you start physically seeing people, you start seeing kind of some areas that they're stuck in. Well, you're going to be able to start seeing yourself that way too. Take the quiz, find out where you're stuck. Ready to declog yourself energetically, increase your energy, ready to have your reset for workout, food, daily ritual, kitchen, so you connect and really invest in your future. Here's to 2016. Get on over to the page, and I've opened it up for you, and we'll catch up with you. I'll see you on the other side if you're ready to invest, or I'll see you next week. Either one. I'm so glad you're here, and you have an insightful day.